Dan, what are you doing?
You gotta check in, need to check with Janet.
Good morning, everyone, and I know majority of you are here to find out the results of the election that was conducted. I will tell you that I owe a great deal of thanks to the First Service team who basically worked counting ballots with Tom and I and Dan Hector until well after 7 o'clock last night. It took a long time to get through all the ballots we received, so Keith and Maureen, who is sitting over to my left, and Mindy, I wish you pass along to your staff who worked so diligently for over 6 hours counting ballots, so thank you very much. Janice, are you ready? I know it's your last meeting, but you don't get any slack. Amanda, you want to do roll call?
Acadia. Absent. Andover A. Absent. Andover E. Andover B.
Present by proxy.
Andover E. Absent. Andover G. Absent. Andover Andover H. Absent. Bedford A. Absent. Bedford B. Absent. Bedford C.
Present by proxy.
Bedford D. Absent. Bedford F. Absent. Bedford G. Absent. Bedford H. Absent. Bedford J. Absent. Brookfield.
Present by proxy.
Cambridge A.
Present by proxy.
Cambridge C. Absent. Cambridge E. Absent. Cambridge F. Absent. Cambridge I. Absent. Cambridge K.
Present by proxy.
Cambridge L.
Present by proxy.
Cambridge M.
Present by proxy.
Canton Court D. Absent. Devonshire. Last name, please. Dorchester A. Absent. Dorchester B. Absent. Dorchester D. Absent. Edinburgh.
Present by proxy.
Fairfield B. Absent. Fairfield D.
Present by proxy.
Fairfield F. Absent. Gloucester A. Absent. Gloucester B,
Present by proxy.
Gloucester C, absent. Gloucester G, absent. Gloucester J, absent. Gloucester K,
Present by proxy.
Gloucester L,
Present by proxy.
Gloucester M,
Present by proxy.
Gloucester N,
Present by proxy.
Highgate A, absent. Highgate B,
Present by proxy.
Highgate E, absent. Highgate F, absent. Highgate 3, absent. Highgate 4,
Present by proxy.
Huntington,
Present by proxy.
Inverness,
Present by proxy.
Knowles 1, absent. Knowles 2, last name please. Knowles 2. Knowles 3, absent. Lancaster 3, Lancaster 1, absent. Lancaster 3,
Present by proxy.
Lancaster 4, absent. Lyndhurst, absent. Manchester 3, absent. Nantucket 3, absent. Nantucket 4,
Present by proxy.
Oakley Green, absent. Oxford 1, absent. Oxford 2, absent. Oh, they're here, sorry. Present. Quill Pass, absent. Radisson 1, absent. Radisson 2,
Present by proxy.
Richmond.
Present by proxy.
Tremont 2,
Present by proxy.
Yorkshire, absent. Mr. President, you have a quorum of 66.5% with 3,674 units with 71 association.
Thank you, Ma Bell, and I call the meeting to order at 9:41. And would you please rise for pledge allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we get started, I remind everyone to please either mute or silence your cell phones. First item on the agenda is the approval of the February 18th Draft Federation membership meeting. Can I have a motion to approve? Thank you. Second? Thank you. Do we have any no proxy votes? And instead of doing a roll call, Without objection, I will consider the minutes we can consider the minutes to be approved unanimously. Is there any objection? Then the minutes of the February 18th Federation membership meeting are approved as submitted. Now, I do have, going into reports, I do want to know if you two have a bet over which one I'm going to call on first. So, Ginger, I'm going to let you take the lead on it. And I know that Ginger hurt her back, so please excuse her sitting at the table doing her report.
I'd like to say it was doing something really exciting, but it wasn't. I just got out of bed and I couldn't walk, so.
You didn't hear Janice's comment. She said, Ginger, it's called old age.
Old people problems, right? I am there. All right, let's start with fitness programming. We've got our fitness usage for February. Sorry, hold on a second. Okay, sorry. Working on the screen over here. Fitness usage for February, you can see just shy of 10,000 users of the program for the month of February. 17% of that still at the South Club. And you can see the 2020 jumped precipitously over January. We expect to see March another jump as well. For the new presidents out there, welcome. What I like to do is just go through and give a snapshot of the programming. So that's here by the data and the numbers as we go through. Orientations, water class, etc. I won't read the numbers to you, but in land group class attendance, you can see there was almost a 10% increase over the prior month. Those are seasonal, and you can just, all the programming follows the ebb and flow of traffic within the community. Total classes taught in February, just 159. On salon and spa usage, we have clients served, 414, which is a slight decrease over the prior month. But of those 414 clients, 745 services were performed on them, which is an increase. So a few less people, but a few more services per person. And there's your sales and merchandise sales for the month, 22,600. In food and beverage area, there's your total South Club patrons served, just shy of 9,200. 11% of those still participating in the Portico Pickup Program. And the South Club sales had a 21% increase over the prior month. In the board meeting, I mentioned they are just rocking and rolling down there with spring break and season. And that has continued through this month, so we look forward to sharing those numbers with you next month, which will be our year-end numbers. The perk sales, they're still chugging along here. We look to do some new programming out there, trying to increase some revenue, working with the team on some different things to do. Summer typically slows down. That'll be a month where we're doing, some planning, and we'll be working with the board that's in place and going forward with hopefully some new opportunities there. On the South Club Pool Expansion Project, the Tiki Bar renovation continues. We call this phase 1. The preliminary underground plumbing has been completed, as well as footer and rebar installation. The demolition of the existing walls, Victoria reports, has been a little slower than they anticipated. Some of them have been poured blocks, so that sounds like a blast trying to, break through some block that is actually poured. But they're getting there. The permit, as you know, I've mentioned this many times, it was applied for, can you believe it, in November. Still not through the county. 97%, I think that's one step left to go, Victoria. And we're just waiting on that. Barring any delays, we hope, and by the way, they're working down there, but there's certain things you can't do until you get that permit, as I'm sure most of you know. So barring delays, And just as these words come out of my mouth, you know something. It's just the way. Isn't that called Murphy's Law, I think? But barring delays, we hope for a late summer completion for this portion of the project. And we have begun RFP process for the next phases. There's a number of phases that deal with landscaping and purchasing some equipment and things like that. So the beat goes on. And the South Club 25-ton HVAC unit replacement, if you recall, this unit arrived. It had to be ordered. It came from China where these are manufactured largely, and when it got here, it was damaged. So another one had to be ordered. It has yet to be delivered. Victoria contacts the vendor daily. He contacts whoever the manufacturer is or their representatives, and they tell us it's in transit. We understand it does take a minimum of about 45 days by ship to get here, but we're still waiting. So unfortunately, it's likely this unit may not arrive by the end of this fiscal year on March 31st. So we'll talk to the board a little more about that. The main clubhouse AC units, not quite that large, those were already here. The replacement of that has begun this week and should be completed by the end of the week. Some of you might have seen the crane outside. Victoria got frustrated, it was raining, we had to reschedule, and then this meeting was going on today, right? And so we knew there would be a lot of traffic, and you know, it's the damnedest thing. When there's a crane and construction going on, people want to go stand right underneath it and look up, you know? It's a little bit of a dangerous situation. It's human nature, but it happens. So I believe you rescheduled it for next week, is that right?
Yes,
Yes. And the new tram, no new news on this. The estimated date for delivery is now slated for the end of this year. Fingers crossed. Special events, we've got the Winter Series winding down, only one remaining show, and that's the Kingston Trio on March 28th. With the tremendous success of the Winter Series this year, Matthew and the team have added 2 additional shows, Scott as well. The Eagles Tribute on 4/8, and the Billy Joel Tribute on 4/11. So if you're interested in those shows, go to the box office and they will give you some further information. Summer Series ticket sales underway beginning May 16th. Please stop by the box office. There's 6 great shows there for $66. Individual tickets will be available beginning April 15th. And we're pleased to host the Brandon Ballet on Sunday, April 9th. And tickets are on sale now. They can be purchased also at the box office. And just a couple of quick reminders, the Queen's Luncheon, always the first Wednesday of every month since time began. And Jim's Open Air Market, first Wednesday morning of each month, and that will be taking place during the season in the field by the North Pickleball. Transportation numbers, here you go. These are very regular. We've got a group of users that rely on this system, and it's very predictable, and there's your usage for February. In security, those go up clearly with season. Our management team there said that this past week they'd never seen so many cars going through the gate. It was just crazy kind of traffic. But total phone calls taken at the gate, 9,820. Highest day, February 18th, with 430 calls coming into that office that day. That's a lot of phones ringing off the hook. Passes issued for just shy of 15,000. The fabled 15, we'll see if we get there in March. Security patrol miles driven, 1,857, and with 23 incident reports, of which, here's one of them. A driver arrived at the front gate stating that he had received an envelope. It was in his mailbox, had the wrong address on it, and he wanted to take it back to the sender. He had asked security about the address. He wanted to go to the mailbox personally. Security said, no, you can't do that. You're not authorized to come in and enter the community. So after being advised, he could take the envelope and drop it at the post office and just write return to sender. He ran through charge the gate. Security followed him because they had the address, clearly. They had just been discussing it. And they escorted him off the property. Super strange incident. Don't know what was in that letter, but apparently he didn't want it, so he wanted to give it back. Driver was notified his tag number had been recorded and not to come back. And then we have the annual alligator warning here. Security was called at 10 p.m. about concerns of a large gator on Kings at the intersection there by the RV lot, blocking the road. I believe there was an accident nearby here where actually somebody hit a gator. It's very dangerous. So, you know, they're big old things out in the road, and it's very tragic. So in this community, the security came, and the gator was standing its ground. So it bought some time that the trapper came out, was able to put it in the truck and haul it away. And once again, please, if you see gators, call the gate. If they're in the ponds, don't approach them. Don't throw hot dogs at them. They're very aggressive. And also, if again, the eyes and ears that you all offer to the security is critical to us. We're not out there in the community. If they're on land, the trapper can take them, but a lot of times they get in the water. Once they submerge, they won't go after them. So as soon as you see them, give us a call, and our team will go out there and see if it's, you know, a need to call somebody. And finally, the gate security team, largest percentage of residents that want to work and put in some hours work at gate security. So if you know somebody who'd like to pick up a few hours, they're looking for some guards, and you can talk to the gatehouse and give them a call. Be happy to give you the details. That's my report. Nice to see you all again.
Thank you, Ginger. And by the way, in regard to Janice's comment, I just want to remind you that in Kings Point, getting older, you are in very good company.
Well, I just like to say it beats the alternative, right? Because if you're not aging, right?
Keith, I will turn the meeting over to you for your report from First Service.
Good morning, everybody. I did have a note too to piggyback off the alligator warning. You know, somebody suggested the other day that it is mating season for the alligators, so they will be hopping around ponds and stuff. So as you're walking dogs, you have to definitely be careful and definitely let somebody know. They do get relocated to a farm way out east, so it's safe for the alligators. No, it's not. This is the First Service Management Report for the stats on February. Just quickly, the monthly financials are being completed no later than the 21st of each month, so Debbie Lauber continues to do a fantastic job with those. As she mentioned last night after counting, she is on vacation for a week. It wasn't because of the counting, but so if you have any questions, board members out there, please let me know on your financials for next week. She will be out, so if there is something pressing, just let me know and we'll help you address that. Backwards. Sorry, I found your clicker. Sorry. That was going the wrong way too. Operations of COVID, obviously we're open, back up and running. We still have the glass shields up, and we have the same Dropbox technique for anything if you want to place those in the Dropbox, applications, payments. Call centers there during the day for pest control appointments, as well as any of the after-hour emergencies. And again, your cams are available all the time, so just shoot them an email, give them a call. We'll be happy to assist with anything. A couple office stats for the prior month. We had 53 transfers and 29 leases. We're starting to see the leases tail off as we leave season. We had about 18 document requests. We took over 3,000 phone calls, scheduled 532 pest control appointments, had just over 1,200 walk-ins. Assisted with 43 notary services, and did 47 new homeowner orientations. Again, those are the one-on-one orientations with any new homeowner. We updated 149 emergency contact forms, completed 66 alteration requests, only issued 17 violations, processed 163 invoices through Avid, and drove 7 new contracts for the associations. Insurance, we're wrapping up the insurance process for this year, with the renewal starts on 4/16. So there'll be a couple new meetings scheduled up over the next 2 weeks to have the board approve it, and then in terms of the membership, we obviously have to meet prior to the 15th of April, so there will be a special membership meeting sent out with that packages, and we'll have to meet prior to that April 15th, which is the Friday of the next meeting. So be on the lookout for that. We do have some good news on the insurance, and are happy to present the package coming up. We'll have USI here presenting it to the board and to the membership to kind of go over all the specifics and answer any questions that you might have before you vote. I'm not trying to skip over the trash. Trash collection and recycling. I know it's been a struggle, to say the least, and lots of frustrations, especially with the recycling portion. I did want to highlight that the FCC has done a relatively good job on picking up the dumpsters. Obviously, there's still a couple dumpsters out there that are the old Waste Connection dumpsters, so we're working to get those swapped out, and also making sure that the driver knows not to put the can all the way against the hedge, so you can't flip the lid over. So a couple minor operating issues, but we'll work through that. But the trash has been, like I said, relatively good with the pickup on the Wednesdays and Saturdays. Recycling comes the largest challenge for FCC, and it's my understanding that they have struggles with recycling on commercial accounts throughout their area. We have been able to work with FCC's upper management, Hillsborough County directly, several of the Federation board members, constantly meeting, constantly trying to encourage and say difficult things to FCC to get them moving. And we're finally starting to see some progress with getting the remaining blue bins picked up. I know there's still some floating around out there, so we'll be picking those up as well. And we have the gray bins that have been delivered out to the associations, and I understand that there's not enough of them yet. So we're going to work into presenting those options to everybody, as well as the folks that used to have the individual bins for their units. So again, the commercial accounts had some accommodations and some encouragements over the years with Hillsborough County and Waste Connections. Those accommodations, that Waste Connections was somehow able to work inside their commercial account and their residential account when they had it, are no longer there, and so they're making some stances on how we will proceed with recycling pickup moving forward. So we've got a communication that's just getting reviewed by some of the Federation members that are in the districts affected by the recycling. Once that's finalized, we'll send that out, and we'll start talking to all those 69 associations about some of the options for recycling. We have talked with additional vendors as backups on what it would cost to switch to somebody else. So steps are being taken to be proactive if we need to make a change. Again, though, it's very unfortunate that there's no incentive anymore to recycle. And that's what we're kind of realizing, is that the county, even asking them personally, hey, what can you do? We have a large population here, and you guys have a fantastic recycling rate. I'm told it's 90% participation rate, compared to Ruskin, that's 20 to 30%. So again, we're asking the county and FCC, what can you guys do? This is a community that likes to recycle, wants to recycle, helped out the landfills, and we're getting a lot of pushback and a lot of extra charges that could come to recycle, which is very important. So again, more information will come out on that shortly. I'm hoping it's going to be today. I'll speak with the Federation members that are working with me on that. And there is another meeting set up with FCC and the county later this afternoon to go over how yesterday's events worked. I do understand that they were flipping carts over and making it very difficult. I did chase them down and told the guys, what are you doing? This is not the community where you can just flip cans over every single day. So they said that they would straighten them up moving forward. And if you have some that you need help flipping up, just let me know. I'll come out and flip them over for you. I caught them part way through. So recycling day still will be Thursdays. So Thursdays is still the recycling days right now. Again, we've been open to FCC on whatever day works best for them to get it done. So we're starting to try to see them committing to actually having a truck in here. That was the first day yesterday, they actually had a full-time truck with 2 guys in the back, somebody driving and hitting all the routes. They had the maps in the car, so we're starting to see some progress with them, and we'll see how we can continue to improve that relationship with them and the service to the community. Next is pest control. Pest control is still inside the 3-day appointment window, so that's working well. That is in the last year of its contract, so we'll be in discussions on how to maybe improve that contract or change it up a bit. Spectrum, you are also approaching the final year of the Spectrum contract, so it was a 5-year contract. You're allowed to start negotiations with Spectrum 1 year early. That has started. We've also reached out to other providers to get some feedback on what it would take to maybe switch to somebody else and how that would impact the community. So there are some general proposals that have been brought back in front of the board just briefly. So we will continue to work through those and present those to the board and then eventually to the membership. But there are some good options coming forward. And I really think people will like what is being presented in the upcoming membership meetings. Again, hurricane season is coming right up. We just had the disaster symposium. Again, thank you for everybody that came out to that. It was a nice event. A lot of speakers out here, a lot of folks in the community just trying to get as much input as they can on hurricane planning. So if you wanted to recap that event, it is online on kpscc.com, the link, as well as the new 2022 disaster planning guidebook. So check those out. We're going to continue to send out drips of e-blast through the 3 providers. Again, that's the Master Association, the Federation, and Vesta. The Land Trust, we will all be sending out the same stuff, so you might get multiple emails. But again, it's designed to continue to push out information regarding disaster planning, useful information about shelter signups, supply lists and things like that. So be on the lookout for that. And always talk to your neighbors. You never know if your neighbor's planning or what they're doing. So that is kind of the goal, is to get as much information out there, as well as to let everybody know that you have help and assistance around you. Next up is landscaping. We now have all 4 landscape contracts signed, happened a couple weeks ago. The Lawn and Landscape Committee and First Service met with all 4 vendors for a pre-launch meeting earlier this week. Again, just touching base with them, any final questions, just resetting expectations with the new vendor, and getting everybody ready to make the change in sections. So new contract does start April 1st, which is a Friday. The plan is, with all of them that work through here that week, that last week of March, which is next week, it will be a normal week with your current vendor. So don't peek out Friday looking for the new vendor, because they're going to finish off their current section and then start on a normal cycle week on Monday, April 4th. So you'll see your new vendors, the new trucks out there Monday, April 4th. We are setting up what we're calling a meet and greet with the new vendors. So all POC and board members that would like to meet with their new section's landscape team, we're going to have a meeting on March 31st from 9:30 to 11 inside the Waterside Room. We'll have all 4 vendors there with tables set up, so please come out. You can meet the new account managers and some of their team and just start those relationship buildings and information. They do have everybody's POC list and things like that, so they are prepping themselves. And we were kind of waiting to get closer to the turnover date before we started having them engage everybody. So please come out on Thursday if you can. We're still working through the grading process. So the grading meeting is Wednesday, March 30th, next week. Still with First Service and OLM sharing those grading responsibilities. And quickly, the work orders, again, February was low. There was only 13 work orders in February. Average day to close those out was 3.11 days. Spring mulch is upon us. The delivery is scheduled for April 7th, that midweek of April. We did notify the associations that would like to do spring mulching. I know there's a couple out there looking to maybe join in on that, so just let me know as quickly as you can, and we'll work to get Southeast Spreading on board with providing mulch for anybody that wants the mulch. So again, we only have about 9 or 10 associations sign up for spring, so it is a lighter load. Just let us know if you can. And lastly, wrapping up, we have we had a nice education workshop at the end of February. We'll continue those. We'll do one in April, and then might take a couple pauses during the summer, but we'll continue those workshops just educating everybody on anything landscaping. The palm and tree trimming, the monthly maintenance for March will occur next week. That will take place in sections 3, 2, and 1, and they will be using that zone process to trim the brown fronds off the trees as well as the seed pods. They are inside section 4, starting the annual tree pruning and the palm tree pruning. We started a little bit early there. They will continue working through section 4 and then so on for the next several months. Don't worry, section 4, we didn't leave you out. You will get your maintenance cycle 1 month earlier than everybody else in June to try to blend out making sure everybody gets the 9 maintenance cycles and the 1 full pruning. So they are doing the oak trees as well. So as you're out there watching them, they're going to be doing additional branch removal with the cross branches inside the tree, any dead wood inside the tree, as well as any other elevation lifts. So if you happen to see something, I've been in contact with several folks in the front sections about some possible branches. Just let us know. We'll make sure that they can hit those. But it is the continual 3-year process of the oak trees to properly lift them up, thin them out, and prune them properly. And lastly, the new palm tree fertilization program in Denham will start in April, with the first fertilization taking place in May. That will be through Brown's Tree Service. So they'll be doing those 3 fertilization cycles all next year. Emergency contact information. Again, we always encourage this. I know lots of boards have dropped off emergency contact sheets. We really appreciate it. It's very important that we have those as well, especially as we approach hurricane season. So anytime you're at a meeting, if you can bring a stack of those or just tell people to stop in, we will get their information updated right away. After hours emergency number, still the main office number there. Call at any time after hours and we'll just bring you right into our call center, which will get right over to me. If not me, they get those lovely ladies at the table over there, which I appreciate as the backup. General inquiries, KPSCC has loads of information on the property management section for First Service, so pop through that if you need anything. Also your community websites. If you don't know about them or if you want more information on them, let us know, but there's lots of information about your meeting minutes, financials, your board documents are on there, so it's a good way to tell your members how to find some of the information that they might be curious about. But you each have an individual association website that is useful to put lots of information in. That is all I have. Thank you, everybody. Hope you have a great weekend.
Thank you, Keith. We will go to the committee reports. If there are any, remembering that this is the last meeting of this board, as the new board will take effect after this meeting. So I will go down the table. Liz, do you have anything?
Yes, sir. We realize that this is the last meeting and both of the committees I work with will be terminated. It's a harsh word. Terminated at the end of this meeting. So, Health and Welfare Committee, the charge of the committee was monitor and review and report to the Federation their observations of cleanliness and safety-related issues. The first goal that we had was to develop a disaster plan and process. We needed to address before, during, and after, assist residents in preparation for themselves, develop an informational symposium, present information beyond the gates where we get all of the county information, and then keep all residents advised by an e-blast situation. So we reinstated the Kings Point preparation plan, organized a leadership team that included the COA, Federation, First Service, Master, Vesta, USI Heritage, Sun City Center, Community Squad, and SERP. Each participant presented their area of responsibility and process for action. Preparation guides specific to Kings Point were developed and distributed by USI to residents. Symposium presentations, July 2021, because we got a late start, and March 7th, 2022. So that was a better time for us to get started earlier, so people have more time to build their preparedness supplies. And again, ongoing e-blasts to keep residents informed. Health, the COVID-19 process was with a multifaceted team that oversaw the community interaction and operation in both the testing and shots and maintenance of the impact of COVID on the community. I think we all know that we have a huge thanks to several folks here who have done an outstanding job. It's hoped that the Health and Safety Committee should reconvene and continue to support our community, Kings Point and Sun City Center. Okay. The Palm and Hardwood Tree Committee, our members were Liz Argott is liaison for the Federation, Bill Gordon, Ken Winter, Susan Raba, Steve Anwa, and John Malakas, with consulting help with Keith Wilking, the GM, and the landscape specialist, with and then the oversight was to be by Paul with OLM. Our goal was to enhance the health and aesthetic appearance of the palms and the hardwood trees in Kings Point, to enhance the curb appeal and our property taxes. By the way, this is a little bit longer, but you'll have a copy of this with your minutes, so I decided we'd go through it a little quicker. We amended the existing palm and hardwood tree contract to add the fertilization program, and that will begin in April 1st. Pruning practice and process of palms. Purpose for changing and looking at and carrying the pruning process is for the health of the palms, and our goal was to reduce disease and dying palms, and as always, enhance the aesthetic appearance of the palms in our community. Maintenance program, we all know, is a great concept, but we still need to put some attention to it so that we can develop a process that provides a smooth operation. Provide a program that ensures required maintenance as stated in the language of the contract. And we meet the Kings Point standards for health and aesthetic appearance of palms. Education program, we did three presentations, slideshow presentations with the lawn and landscape folks, and Keith and Ryan. Next steps, we need to continue to develop educational presentations for the future, review the current palm and pruning maintenance program, research palm preventative maintenance program versus annual pruning and monthly trimming program that we are in now. Work with other entities serving Kings Point to establish community-wide process that would provide continuity, uniformity, and best practices for the best health and aesthetic appearance of Kings Point community. Monitor performance of the current contractor as to quality and adherence to the contract requirements. Review the current contract to identify changes in the service requirements to maintain the appearance and health of our trees in preparation for the termination date of 2024 of the current contract to determine how to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Liz. Dan? Anything?
Contract says nothing at this point. Keith has already discussed the spectrum and the budget. So, we're good.
In that regard, I don't know if Tom Murphy is here or not. Tom Murphy is the main lead for the board on the Spectrum contract and cable TV and internet service, and Tom has been working extensively, keeping the board informed of what's going on along with Keith. And the board owes a gratitude to Tom Murphy for the work he continually does on that particular aspect. And I'm quite sure that as this contract expires, you can look for bigger and better services when it comes to cable TV and internet. Janice?
Seeing that this is my last board activity, because I will be leaving, I've done my 4 years. I wanted to, I'm hoping that the new board, whoever they may be, will permit the current insurance committee to see the contract renewal, or the insurance renewal package all the way through to the end till its approval. So hopefully whoever is up here, because I know we have, like Keith said, meetings in April to approve this package. So that's my one wish as I leave the board.
Janice, I want to thank you for your dedication with insurance. Since you've taken it over, we have brought the insurance policies below budget every year. I know it takes a lot of work not only from you, but your committee. But more importantly, you keep the board informed of upcoming meetings and work with Ma Bell extensively on making sure that the appropriate notices go out and things are done. And I know you've been doing it for, I think, 4 years now. It is not just an easy task to do. And from the board, I would like to thank you for all your work as secretary. Tom, anything?
Just looking forward to the new landscapers starting their different sections. None of them seem to have the same section, so it's really a good thing because it's going to challenge them to continue the progress that's been started from the last contract.
Alan?
I really don't have anything new to report. Again, this is my last time to talk to you from this table, as I'll be completing the second of my 2-year terms in 4 years. We're just 6 days away from the end of the fourth quarter and the end of the fiscal year, so the new treasurer will be giving the year-end report. And as you recall, in our budget process, it was approved that there are some transfers from the transfer accounts, transfer fees accounts into some of the other accounts. That'll take place then in right away next month. But that's all. I have nothing to report really.
Alan cannot be left unsaid. I think you've been treasurer for 4 years now, correct? You assumed that position when you joined the board. The board appreciates all the work you've put into it. I know it's been trying. It is good with some of the changes which you have recommended to get our Federation board budget down to 60-some cents per unit per month over time. I appreciate all the work, and I think I speak for the entire board and previous boards, that I would like to thank you for all the work you have done for the last 4 years. So thank you. Barbara?
The CPC committee is looking forward to making a presentation to the board with the final rollout of the website, and then looking forward to presenting it to the membership in a not too distant future.
Thank you, Barbara. And by the way, I did not intentionally leave off one of the board members. Your previous president, who took over a position 4 years ago. Ryan, I was wondering if there's anything you have to say.
Thank you, Jack. No, I'd just like to say thanks to everybody. It's been a good 4 years. We've done some good things. We've uncovered some important information, answered some good questions, left some stuff that still needs to be handled moving forward. But I'd like to thank everybody that supported the effort. Jack was a great vice president. I think he's been exceptional as the president of the Federation. After our first season that was together, it was great. Dan Hector's been exceptionally good at working with the contracts and keeping everybody on the line there. Alan and Janice came on at the same time I did, and I think we've all matured into understanding this confusing mess sometimes that was Kings Point, and managed to clear up some things and make some things happen positively. So I just want to say thanks to everybody for your support, and I look forward to staying involved in the community and doing things from a different place and a different level at this point. So thank you.
Ryan, I can only say thank you for your help, your guidance, the work you did, both as president and since you stepped down, at your decision as president, but continuing to be involved, continuing to give your guidance and advice to the board, uncovering many questions and resolving a lot of problems, not only when you were president, but since you stepped down as president. So thank you very much from the board for your dedication and service. That leaves it to me. Shortly after this meeting ends, the Federation Board will go into a new organization meeting where your new president and officers will be named. Don't know what is going to happen. This may be my last meeting as your president. If it is, I want to thank each and every one of you for your support. I want to thank the board for their support. It's been a very trying couple of years. Hopefully, the board will continue to move forward for the betterment of the Kings Point community. So thank you all for all your work for us. There is no one who signed up for open forum, so we will skip that portion of the agenda and move to unfinished business, which is none. It'll take us to new business. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the membership meeting schedule. Per our bylaws, there are no meetings in June, July, and August. And that is reflected within the schedule. I can tell you that the schedule starts with the first meeting of April 15th. I don't want to steal the thunder that Janice has, but there will be a special board meeting, and if you want to make note of it, there'll be a special membership meeting on September 11th, April 11th, to approve the insurance. So if you just want to make a note, because the meeting notice will go out next week for the April 11th meeting, but if you want to make a note of it, at 9:30 on April 11th here in the theater, there will be a special membership meeting specifically for approval of the insurance, which takes effect on April 15th. So make a note of that. Can I have a motion to approve this schedule for next year, the year of 22-23? And just to let you know, it stays as the third Friday of the month, except for the month of March, which is the last month. Thank you, Dan. A second? Vicki? Thank you. Do we have any no votes for the schedule, Janice? Without doing roll call, I'll ask if there's any objection to unanimously approving the schedule for next year. Hearing no objection, then I will consider the schedule for the Federation membership meeting for the year 22-23 to be approved. Before I go, I have been remiss, and I have been sitting here for almost an hour, and I have failed to recognize the people sitting off to my left-hand side, way over. One of them is Mindy Anderson, who always attends our meetings, who is the regional director. Also at the end of the table is Maureen Connolly, for you who don't know, who is the vice president of First Service out of St. Petersburg. And sitting directly next to her is the Federation Council, Webb Melton, who attends our annual meetings every year and will be running the organizational meeting. And sitting next to Webb, and I hope I pronounce her name right, is Astrid, Alexa, who is one of Webb Melton's assistants, I will call them. More so, you are a legal counsel, correct? Thank you, Ed. And I apologize for not recognizing you individuals sooner. Now we will go on to what we can't forget, Matt. I want to make a comment to Matt. And I shared it with Ginger, and I don't know if she shared it with you. A resident sent a email to me and Keith talking about recycling collection and the problem we've had on it. And at the end of the email, it said, give it to Matt, he can get it done. When I reiterated that to Ginger, because I thought it was funny, Ginger said, no, we're having the same problem with recycling that you folks are. So it isn't just that. So giving it to Matt wouldn't necessarily get it done, but I know giving every other problem to Matt, it gets done. And thank you, Matt, for all the work you do for the community. Now what you've all been waiting for. Yesterday was a long, long afternoon. As I announced the results of the election, I would ask that the winners of each district stand so they can be recognized, and you will get to see their faces on a regular basis. We will make sure of it. In the election for District 1, which was between Ray Hunsaker and James O'Malley. Ray Hunsaker received 153 votes. James O'Malley received 64 votes. Therefore, the new board member taking effect as of the end of this meeting is Ray Hunsaker. And as Ray campaigned on Everybody Loves Raymond, I guess they did.
Everybody look, right?
In District 2, the two candidates were Jim Gundry and Dave Tyson. Jim Gundry received 135 votes. Dave Tyson received 38 votes. The new board member for District 2, which is the only one-year term that's being elected because he's filling out the remainder of the term, is Jim Gundry. In District 7, the candidates were Shirley Bardell and Del Dewar. Shirley Bardell received 160 votes. Del Dewar received 129 votes. Therefore, Shirley Bardell will become the representative from District 7. Is Shirley not here? I asked her to stand, but that's okay. You scared me for a minute, Shirley. In District 8, the candidates were Liz Argott and Susan Martucci. Liz Argott received 106 votes, and Susan Martucci received 167 votes. Therefore, the representative is Susan Martucci. In District 9, the candidates were Eileen Pico and Ray Shaw. Eileen Pico received 142 votes. Ray Shaw received 155 votes. Therefore, the representative from District 9 is Ray Shaw. I would like to congratulate not only the winners, but also those who participated in the election. There always, unfortunately, has to be a winner and a loser. I don't consider any of the people who were not elected to the district to be losers. I consider them to be outstanding residents in Kings Point because they were willing to step up and offer their time and service to this community, and I'm quite sure that those 5 individuals will continue in that manner to offer their services to this community. And thank you very much for your participation. That basically ends the presentation of the election. And last year we started something. Yeah, Janice, you give me that dirty look. Janice, would you come up front? Ryan, would you come up front? Liz, would you come up front? And Ellen, would you come up front? We started last year handing out certificates of appreciation to exiting board members. And it was suggested that we continue it this year. And it basically says, proudly presented to specific individual, in recognition and appreciation of your dedicated service as a director of the Federation Board and to the Federation Association members. Your tireless work and effort has been a great benefit to all the residents of Kings Point, and it is dated with today's date. And I don't know what order he's in, but there's yours, Janice. And Ryan. I know Bob wants a picture, but thank you all for your work. I really appreciate it. There is another little surprise. There's another little surprise that Dell spoke to me about, and we spoke to, and I'm looking for Dell. I know she stepped out. And we spoke to the board members who are not leaving. And Dell has something for the exiting board members. Do you want to go see what Dell is? Where Dell is? No, this should only take a minute. You know, nothing goes as planned. What?
Dun, 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 dun.
You want to stand up and entertain us?
No, but Chucky and I will be at the pool on Sunday, be there, have fun, it will be warmer.
You formally want to go up front? Janice, Ryan, Liz, and Alan. This is for everybody. I think Dell, don't leave. Let me say this was Dell's idea in her gratitude to thank the exiting board members for their service to the community. And Dell, thank you for coming to the board and asking the board if you could do this, and we appreciate your dedication to it. After the meeting, anybody who would like a piece of cake, there are, I think, plates there and silverware. Are there plates there? They're over at the table at the front. Please feel free to take a piece of cake in celebration of the service of these fine 4 individuals. With that, I will open it up for good and welfare. And I would expect that cake to be gone because I know how you folks at Kings Point are. You always will take some goodies. And just to let you know, it was Nanette who baked the cake. So it is a superb cake. And it's a couple things that the board can keep secret from you guys that you don't know about. So thank you. Seeing there are no good and welfare, I will accept a motion to adjourn. Thank you. Second? All in favor? Opposed? The meeting is adjourned, and just to let you know that probably we're going to take a 10-minute break, and then the new board will convene to elect its officers and do its organizational business, of which you are more than welcome to attend.